Lewis Hamilton in a different league to overrated Sebastian Vettel, former F1 ace. That's the verdict of former F1 driver Eddie Irvine. Mercedes ace Hamilton came out on top in his two-way title battle with Ferrari's Vettel in 2018 as the two fought to become the first to 5 world titles. The championship chase was tied in the middle of the season, but Hamilton once again came into his own in the second half of the year, winning 6 of 9 races after the mid-season break, while Vettel managed just one victory. That saw Hamilton finish 88 points clear in the standings to equal one Manuel Fangio and become the joint second most successful driver of all time, behind only Michael Schumacher. Vettel is a 4-time world champion but is winless since 2013, having won 4 successive titles with Red Bull. He has since had to watch Hamilton win 4 in 5 years, only missing out on 5 straight due to his former Silver Arrows teammate Nico Rosberg, who pipped him to the crown by just 5 points. And former Northern Irish racer Irvine, who raced for Ferrari in the late 1990s, finishing second to Mika Häkkinen in 1999, insists Hamilton is far superior to rival Vettel as the 2019 season approaches. Yet Irvine does not believe Hamilton is a patch on Schumacher, who amassed 7 championships in a hugely successful career which spanned 19 seasons. "I think Lewis is in a different league from all of them," Irvine told. "He's not in Michael's league and I don't even think he is close, although he's racking up lots of wins. He's got the best car, there are more races and the competition is debatable. I think Vettel is good if he is at the front and he doesn't have anybody to race. When you watch Lewis race, Lewis is focused on racing and getting ahead. You watch Vettel, and when Vettel is racing as someone, he is focused as much on the other guy as he is on where he is going and inevitably crashes into the other guy. That happens nearly all the time. I think Vettel is a good driver, but a 4 times world champion, I just don't see it. I think he is massively overrated, I think he's a one-trick pony. Lewis has a much broader talent." Hamilton is contracted to Mercedes until the end of the 2020 season, meaning he may well catch Schumacher's records of 91 race wins and 155 podium finishes. The Brit, who already has 15 more pole position starts than Schumacher, is 18 away to tying the legendary German for most wins and 21 behind in podium finishes. Yet Irvine insists Schumacher simply maintained a higher level of performance than 34-year-old Hamilton has in his career. Irvine added, "Michael was on it every day, like Senna, but Lewis has his off days. If you look over the 2 years Lewis and Jenson Button were together, and McLaren, Button actually outscored him over 2 years. No one ever did that to Michael." Michael's level of performance was consistently higher even though Lewis is an amazingly talented driver. When Lewis first came to Formula One he was fantastic to watch and his overtaking was second to none. He's probably a better overtaker than Michael. But for pace, and consistency over a whole weekend, over a whole year, I don't think anyone touches Michael, even Ayrton Senna. Next news: why did Ricciardo lose time everywhere? Daniel Ricciardo says he was confused because of losing time pretty much everywhere during the Belgian Grand Prix qualifying race. Red Bull could not catch up with the damp but trying conditions in Q3 and its drivers could only get to the 4th row of the starting grid. The power-sensitive spot always affected the team's qualifying results and this time it affected Ricciardo more than Max Verstappen. The Aussie had to do a second run in Q1 since his first one was not enough to proceed to Q2. He said, "We've been slow all weekend and, at times, nearly a second off, and not really sure why. That was weird, and the laps I did were fine. I wasn't going off track or driving like an idiot. We just couldn't understand why. Even crossing the line, I'd see the lap time and I'm expecting to see something significantly better and I'm not, so I was a bit confused. We put the second set on and we went quicker, but still we were even on the second set. We were maybe still 4/10 off max, and the track got better. So something's been a bit off, but we haven't really figured out why yet. The Honey Badger sensed that the time loss happened pretty much everywhere, a bit, but was most significant in the middle sector. It could be due to the outfit running a skinny rear wing to boost its straight line speed. Both the Red Bull cars are running on an aerodynamic setup, and Ricciardo has opted out of higher downforce option after testing it on Saturday morning practice run. The second sector felt better, but the first and the third was too slow, he explained. And just thinking about the race and restart, I would get ambushed. I don't feel we have a choice but to run the small one we got. Ideally, Red Bull should be the star of the circuit because its high downforce cars can do well in the twisty corners. But the long straights demand a low downforce setting. The balance between the two is a constant battle for the teams each year. The setup was really difficult, Verstappen admitted. I think we found quite a decent way of driving it in qualifying, he said, but you are compensating for a straight line loss. Even in qualifying, you are still down on the straight in terms of top speed, with that wing. But I think it's the best we could do. News reason Verstappen crashed so often in past. Max Verstappen's poor performance in the first 6 races of the season was due to the Dutchman's self-induced pressure, says Red Bull's F1 advisor Helmut Marko. Verstappen suffered from a series of crashes and collisions in the beginning of the season, leading to calls of restraint from former F1 drivers and commentators. After enduring criticism from multiple quarters, the Dutchman hit back with error-free weekends and podium finishes at the Canadian and French Grand Prix. He then went on to win the race at the Austrian GP. The reason for Verstappen's mistakes was explained by Marko recently. Speaking with Autosport, he said, "The problem was that Max put too much pressure on himself. Suddenly he made mistakes with a car he could drive in front, which he did not make last year when his car was far from so good. We've been through all variations. How can we stabilize Max? It was more a coincidence than a programmed action that nobody was there in Montreal. But this is the Max we're expecting now. France was a great weekend without any mistakes." Talking about Max's Monaco crash, Marko squarely blamed it on driver's inability to contain his own excitement. "That's exactly what he needs to learn. You won't win a championship just because you're ahead in every practice session," said Marko. On the other hand, we're glad he's so unruly. It's easier to get him to calm down than to build a not so fast or aggressive driver in that direction. Verstappen went to the Canadian race without his family or manager. Though it wouldn't become a practice in the future, the change helped him stay calm and focused, says Red Bull's team boss Christian Horner. Ahead of the Canadian race, Verstappen had joked that he would headbutt anyone who asks him about his crashes. At the French GP's post-race press meet, he took another swipe at the media, suggesting they go tell Sebastian Vettel to change his driving style, just to highlight the selective criticism that came his way. With his recent race win at the Austrian GP, Verstappen has returned to his performing form. Will he repeat a similar podium-worth performance at Silverstone?